Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Assassin's Creed 3. This is excellent. I am genuinely enjoying this game. It is absolutely fantastic. I'm happy. The sun is shining outside. Scotland is sunny today. It's warm as well. There is a bit more of a breeze today. But enough about the fact that it's glorious here. I am Blizzard Raptor. This is my channel. Welcome to it. Make yourself comfy. Get sat down in your comfiest joggers, get a cup of tea on the go, or something stronger, and join me for another foray into Assassin's Creed. If you're new here and this is your first time watching my content, hi! Feel free to subscribe. Like the video if you're so inclined. Leave a comment. I do like comments. I like talking to people. That's why I do this job, because I feel like I'm having a conversation with all you guys. And we're gonna rock on now. So when we last left off, Connor was told to get raw materials for... I think his name was Benjamin Faulkner. It has been 3 or 4 days since I've recorded an episode of this, so I'm sure his name, I know his name was Faulkner, but I can't remember if his first name was Benjamin. I might be getting him confused with Benjamin Franklin. But anyway, the old drunk guy that was the sailor told Connor, go get me some wood and I'll fix up the assassin's boat, the Aquila. And so I think we're going to do just that, but Achilles had said meet me back at the manor when you're done, so that's where I'm going. Assassin in training, Connor.
There you are. I've something to show you. Come, take a look.
What is it?
A ledger. It lets us manage the homestead's dealings.
And these?
That was years ago. Before the slow fever, before the Templars, before everything collapsed. But that's all in the past. Better we focus on what's in front of us. Take up the ledger, and I'll teach you how it all works.
So, by teach you, he means teach us. Teach me, the assassin that's actually going to be in charge of all of this. Stockpile allows you to purchase items from the homesteaders and displays the items you currently own. Okay. So we enter the stockpile. Godfrey and Terry, the lumberjacks, have oak lumber available for purchase, so press X to purchase the oak lumber. Okay. So we can select max, which is 3. They have 3 piles of oak lumber. I don't know. So we've purchased that. And as they produce more, they'll stockpile more for us. So now we select trading. Here we are. The oak logs can be sold to merchants through convoys, and because it's raw materials, at a time when they're trying to expand the frontier, this will be worth a bit of money. Like normally you wouldn't think, well, I don't know, timber is worth a bit of money. It's not worth a fortune, like it would have been here. But I suppose it is still worth money, although we don't want to be cutting down trees, because we don't want to be damaging the environment anymore. Yeah. Oak logs can be sold to merchants through convoys, so we select our convoy, we assign oak lumber, whoops. I'm not sending any. Oh no, I've not. Right, I am sending it. So I'm only allowed to select that merchant. Items are placed and send. There we go. So buying and selling. We've just learned how to run a business in the very basic, loosest sense.
Time passed quickly after that. My days a blur of study, training, and work. What little free time Achilles allowed me was spent learning about the Templars, about Charles Lee and my father. I longed to confront them, to put an end to their schemes, to ensure my people would remain untroubled and free. But I knew it was too soon, that to approach them now would see me killed. All my work would be for nothing. Patience, restraint. These proved the most difficult subjects for me. But in time, I mastered them as well. Days became months, months became years. And as my skills and knowledge grew, so too did I.
So what you're meant to get from that is he's aged a bit. You can see his stance has changed slightly. The character model's a bit bigger, a bit broader. His face hasn't aged that much though. So I suppose what we're meant to get from that is he's still a young man. So I'm going to go learn this crafting lesson. He's faster, to be fair. He feels faster, quicker across the ground. That's pretty good. Where does the ledger live now? Ah, there it is. The crafting section has been unlocked. Crafting. Craft the barrels. Craft max. Okay. So we've already got a convoy travelling, but there we go. So now that we've got the artisan, the land convoy's got 10 minutes to go. That's in real time, our time. Obviously, in game time, that's a long journey and dangerous because the convoy could be ambushed. Yay! And here is the Aquila. Hey, old drunk guy did a really good job. 6 months later, and we've got a ship. I did promise you that we would get a good look at the ship going part of the game, the ocean going, the naval sequences that inspired one of my favourite games in the series, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which won't be the next game on the channel but the one after that, because I've got to give Liberation some love. I had Liberation on the PlayStation Vita. It's a great game, really interesting protagonist. Oh, here's the crew. He did promise he would find us a crew as well. Hopefully they actually know what they're doing and they're not just drunk guys that he's grabbed from some dive. But here is the man anyway. Sail to Martha's vineyard to equip the Aquila with cannon. Officers must also be hired to command the new guns.
Come aboard and feast your eyes,
Robert
boy.
Faulkner, there we go. I was getting him
No,
confused.
no, not the left foot. Never the left foot. Horrible look. Step with your right foot first.
Superstitions.
She is solid?
Aye. Weatherly and sleek. She'll fetch 12 knots in a stiff gale. Ne'er a ship from here to Singapore can outrun her on her best day. What do you say we take her out and show you what she can do firsthand?
Where would we go?
As it happens, she still needs guns and the officers to command them. We'll launch straight away. Don't worry, lad. I'll make sure you sprout good sea legs. Haul in the mainsail! Get up the rigging! Hand over fist! Come on, men! Let's get her out where she needs to be!
So now we have access to the Aquila. We get to steer it, by the way. We are the helmsman of the Aquila.
Come on, lad. No time like the present.
Here's the Aquila's mast.
Take the helm.
Right, naval ships. 18th century naval warfare. Frigates are long, light vessels with lots of guns, 28 if you want to get technical. Frigates were light and easily manoeuvrable, so they were often used for reconnaissance or escorting merchant vessels. Gunboats, smaller vessels containing only one gun, but it was a really big gun. Gunboats were inexpensive to build and could be assembled quickly. They were used to bombard targets on land. Schooner, small light craft noted for their speed. These were the preferred ships for privateers during the American Revolution. Nothing better for breaking through enemy lines faster than you could get a shot at, making a fast getaway. Man of war, catch-all term for a warship carrying a lot of cannon. Ships of the line, which are big ships with multiple gun decks stacked one on another. Lining up your ship's broadside against the enemy's ships to hit them with the most cannonballs possible. So, the idea being that if you've ever seen any of these old films like, what was the one Russell Crowe was in? Master and Commander. Or Pirates of the Caribbean, that'll work as well. In naval warfare, the idea is simple. You get as close as you can to get good sight of the ship. You line up your broadside with the ship, and you fire your cannons. That's it. That's the simplest, that's it down to its most simple. Downside to that is that if your broadside has cannon, but you're firing at the enemy's broadside, chances are the enemy has cannon on their broadside as well. So it's an exchange of gunfire. And it's whoever can land the most hits. So you see these ships in these films that have, I think the most I've seen is 3 gun decks. So you have a lower gun deck, a mid gun deck, and an upper gun deck. And the idea would be, rather than all of these fire at once, it works on the same principle as the infantry lines. I think you would fire one gun deck, and then while they were reloading, the next gun deck would fire. And while they were reloading, the lower gun deck would fire. And by the time that last gun deck had fired, the upper gun deck would be ready to fire again. So you could have like bang, 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 bang. You could basically, so the idea would be to have a well-drilled crew to man the guns, and officers manning the gun decks that could drill that crew and keep things nice and smooth, making sure that every man knew where he needed to be at the right time to get the most out of those guns. And the game makes it that simple for you as well. All I have to do...
Time you learned. Come on, she won't bite.
So now I'm steering. I'm now the helmsman of the Aquila.
You can half sail.
There we go.
Ah! The Aquila flies again. Do you feel it, lad? Set a course for Martha's Vineyard. We'll find our guns and officers there. She's
Now,
a nimble vessel, but the faster she goes, the more cumbersome she grows. And the firmer your hand needs to be. Enjoy this stretch of open water before we come upon those shallows. Call for full sail if you like.
so we can go full sail.
Loosen to full sail.
And now we've got all the Aquila's sails out. And this is as
Wind looks
fast
to
as
be
we can go.
shifting. Stay alert, Connor. Gusty winds can be difficult to manage. Rein her in to half sail. Half sail.
So if we lower the amount of canvas that's against the wind, will slow us down, make us a wee bit more easier to manage. It is a fairly heavy gust. So rogue winds will blow you off course fairly easy, but now
Now, take us through these shallows. Careful not to run up on them. The sandbars will slow us down, but the rocks will put a hole through a hull. And if you want to make a quick tack, call for half sail. She's more maneuverable then.
yeah, I'm not going to go to full sail just now. I want control over her. Just gonna steer through here.
Mind those other vessels. Hold your tack to keep your right of way.
You can hear those guys on that boat singing. I think the ship on my right there is a ship of the line. A man of war, because it looks, or maybe it's not, maybe it's just a frigate. So the early naval sequences in, oh, no. Brilliant. The rogue wind's away now, brilliant. So we should be able to get through here and then swing us around. There we go.
Cottages. We're close.
There we go. There are other boats in our way though, so we have to be careful here not to crash into them as well, because that'll count as damage. I don't know if you can see the decoration on the main mast in front of me, but it's cut in the shape of the assassin symbol, which I think's quite clever. I'm going to go around this wee boat.
No sail. Full stop. Full stop. No sail. Drop anchor. We'll go ashore, buy our guns, and find our officers.
Boom. That was pretty good. I'm in charge of a boat, even if I'm not the captain. Helmsman's still a pretty important job.
Oh, hello, Miss Mandy. You're looking every bit as ravishing as I remember.
After all these years, you sail all the way to the vineyard to pay me compliments?
We are looking for David and Richard Clutterbuck.
Nice to see you, too.
Robert Faulkner, where the hell you been?
Sorry for leaving like I did, lads, but where I was going, no one could know. You two working much?
Nah, between contracts at the moment.
Well, we're looking for gunnery officers. What would you two say to working with me again?
We'd be for getting into a few more scraps.
Good show. The Aquila is a fine vessel. We're fitting all the guns as we speak.
Looks like your friend's about to catch a beating.
Where is Charles Lee?
I don't much care for your tone.
Hey, you don't want to be doing that, Biddle.
Bobby Faulkner turned to wet nursing. It's good you finally realize you're a shite sailor.
Whoa, 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 not in here, gentlemen. Better still, not at all. Bobby, take your friends and get out!
Let's go, boys. Our guns ought to be ready. Come on.
Ooh. So we chinned Benjamin Church for Charles Lee. Thought Connor was learning patience. That's not very patient. He's gonna clock Benjamin Church. Should have. So Biddle's the Templar sailor. There's the guns fitted. So we don't have many, but at least we have them. David and Richard Clutterbuck, I mean, I suppose they're characters. Gunners in the Merchant Navy starting in the mid-18th century. They weren't averse to a friendly fistfight over pretty much anything. They're a Dutch family that moved to London when David and Richard were young. Their father was a dock worker, and so the two brothers grew up near and in the dockyards running errands to pass the time. They showed an early aptitude for fighting. They joined a crew with Robert Faulkner on board the Stalwart in 1750 and worked with him until he disappeared in 53. Unlike many who go to sea in search of adventure and treasure, the Clutterbucks' motivation was somewhat different: guns. They grew up hearing stories of the sea, but it wasn't until they overheard a gunner talking about the power of his cannon they decided a sailor's life was for them. They spent years travelling on various merchant and privateer vessels, almost always hiring on as a pair. They settled semi-permanently in Martha's Vineyard, taking it as a place to rest between contracts before they would get tired of it and hire on to another crew. And there was a joke in there about dicks as well, but Sean's jokes are crap, so... So we've got the helm again.
What the bloody hell was that about?
The older man is a Templar. Who was he with?
A Templar? The young buck was Nicholas Biddle. Nobody. Sails before the mast. Midshipman for the Crown.
Are the guns ready?
Aye, but we won't jump in over our heads. We'll find a suitable target and show you how they work. We've fitted her with a modest amount of guns to start, but rest assured there's ample room to add more should you feel the need.
Oh, we will feel the need. But right now we're going to find some crap to shoot at. These shipwrecked hulks. Ooh. Yeah. These things.
Looks like a British frigate with half seas over. Should do nicely for a spotted target practice. Bring around broadside, and when all guns are on target, call fire.
Round shot for a start. And fire!
Well done, boy. Now, aim all guns at her bow and do as much damage as possible.
There you go. And that's it. That's as easy as it is.
Good. Now give the swivel guns a turn. More precise. Hit those old powder barrels and light up the sky.
So, to fire the swivel guns, it's the same idea, but you have to wait until the swivel gun's there. That mechanic gets refined for the next game, luckily.
Not bad for a spot, Captain.
You are a fast learner.
Provided something interests me.
Ah. Getting a taste for the open sea, are we?
Yes.
We'll make a jack tar out of you yet. Now we should be getting back. The old man is like to have my hide for keeping you out so long. Bring her to half sail, man.
So now we've to return to the homestead. That's it. That's the plan. So this is a nice, gentle introduction to naval missions that aren't actually a key part of the story. The naval missions are...
Why is he shooting at us?
Destroying property of the crown, disturbing the king's peace, take your pick.
What do we do?
Naught else but to fight back. Sink the bastard!
So when you brace... And there he goes. I think I failed some of the optional objectives there, but I'm not really bothered.
English frigate! Oh, be twaddled, another one. Where in the bloody hell did she come from?
So bracing reduces the damage that you take. There we go. We got a brace off there. Oh, I think I just got lucky there. They're going to fire now. Yeah. I could see the pattern. Oh, here we go. This is going to be the big one. I don't know why it suddenly went all white. I can't see anything. That was more luck than skill.
Carry on, sailor. Not bad for your first voyage, eh, boy? Now we best be getting back, or the old man'll have my guts for garters.
That was weird. It went all white. I take it was a fog, but that's not bad for the first. I basically had to guess where the boat was and fire that broadside, so that was pretty good though. I like that. So all of these sailing mechanics would get refined over the following few games. Until
I got 'em! All of 'em!
Odyssey and
Get what I
Valhalla.
need, and I'll give 'em to you. Simple. You got a ship, could find 'em all to boot.
Who is that man?
Him? Some old salt always on about letters he's got from Captain Kidd. Nonsense, really, but he doesn't hurt no one, so I'll leave him be. Talk to him if you fancy, but be warned he'll chew your ear off. Anyway, the Aquila's here for you. If you should get a pang for the open sea, we'll be waiting. Now, I implore you to head up the hill before the old man comes out of retirement just for me.
You weeks. And not even a goodbye before you left.
Sorry.
Whoops.
Well, what are you waiting for?
3 weeks we've been away.
Put them on.
It's time. Yes.
Once upon a time, we had a ceremony on such occasions. But I don't think either of us are really the type for that. You've your tools and training, your targets and goals. And now you have your title. Welcome to the Brotherhood, Connor.
Now we are an assassin. That's it. It's as simple as that. So we don't have to go through a big training montage or anything like that. We are an assassin. Got his pistol. Ooh, we're back in the modern times.
Welcome back, Desmond. You'll be happy to hear there's actually good news for once.
Yeah?
I've managed to locate a power source, and it's relatively close by. Up for a trip to Manhattan?
Is it safe to leave? Abstergo's gotta be looking for us.
Obviously it's not safe. Can't exactly sit around here hoping to get lucky, though, can we? We need that power source. Besides, I'm sure you can cook up some way to hide our movements.
Maybe. The Templars have access to all kinds of satellites and camera systems. We'll need to find a way to mask our digital signature. I can probably camouflage the van, too. But there's not much I can do for us.
That's an easy one.
That's the thing. All the training that Connor's just had that we've glossed over is training that Desmond's had. And he's had Ezio's training and Altaïr's training.
Prepared for the upcoming solar maximum. Disruptions to service are expected to be minimal.
If only they knew.
What's this?
A remote-operated camera. It'll provide us with a feed while you're on mission. This will let us talk to each other.
We're almost there, so listen up. The artifact is in an office penthouse in Lower Manhattan. At this time of night, direct infiltration is going to get you noticed. I think we're better off having you drop in from above.
What do you mean, above?
You're going to parachute in. I remember this one. And for all of you who are saying he's not had any parachute training, remember, Ezio had access to parachutes. So technically he has.
Can you hear me? Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yep, reach you just fine. Now why don't you power up the camera? I've got pictures. Running diagnostics. Perfect. I've got a nice, strong signal.
Oh, that's charming. So here we go. The modern segments aren't as exciting as the past segments. So sorry guys. This is going to be a rather bland run through boring tunnels and construction yards. But you'll notice that some of the shape of the environment is similar to what Connor goes through. These V-shaped vents are similar to the V-shapes in the trees that Connor can run over.
Oh, don't hold still. It's a lovely view.
Seriously, Sean? Fuck you.
Up we go. So if anyone has vertigo, I apologise for the sudden unsafeness that you're about to feel. Trust me, I feel it too. There is nothing between me and the ground. Now this isn't a Spider-Man level rendering of Manhattan. This is, you can tell by that rooftop, this is very basic 3D photographic. You know, there are some shapes that have been added there to give depth to the foreground, but the background is pretty much a sort of digital image, like the old painted backdrops that are used in early movies. Oofed. Well, I don't know how Desmond does this without having some kind of panic attack. That's like the cracks in the mountains that I was talking about, where he can use the inside of it as a handhold.
No security to worry about.
And on the not so bright side, the slightest misstep means you're effectively paced.
Shut up, Sean.
That's not true, he's got a parachute on his back. Scrambling up, that's like the gravel slopes that you'll see us scrambling up. Pretty sure that's where he's meant to go. No, maybe not. Oh no, there we go.
Almost there, Desmond. Once you reach the top of the lit-up crane, you should be high enough to make the jump.
Should?
It'll be fine, don't worry.
Well, you might want to worry a little. I'm pretty sure she was high when she was running the numbers.
Sean!
It was a joke. Or was it?
So up the lit crane we go. We're on a rooftop crane now, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with. I'm not. We don't obviously have many skyscrapers in Scotland. In fact, we don't really have anything you would class as a skyscraper, and certainly not like rooftop cranes. But here we go.
Jump when you're ready, but wait for my signal to open the chute. Timing's really important here. Too soon or too late, and you'll miss the building.
This is a leap of faith, so I hope you're all ready.
Now, open your chute.
We can steer them, but there's really no way to miss it. We're heading for the big H. That makes it easy for us, you see. Here we go, here we go. There's somebody else here.
That wasn't so bad.
So, you must be Desmond. Not exactly what I expected, but I guess your kind doesn't have many options these days.
Who are you?
Ask your father. Now give me that.
I don't think so.
Look, I'm not supposed to kill you, but the boss man didn't say anything about fucking you up. So you got to the counter.
That easy. Wow. Right, Dad, you've got some explaining to do. Jesus.
So who the hell is Daniel Cross?
Believe it or not, he used to be an assassin. The assassin, the way I've heard it told, but it turned out he was a sleeper agent for Abstergo, programmed to infiltrate and destroy the organization.
How did he know you were there? We could be compromised.
They must have caught me snooping inside their network and sent Cross to see what we were after. If they were aware of our current location, we'd know. Though, I will say this. It doesn't bode very well for future expeditions.
I've set up some cameras topside. If anyone shows up, we'll see it.
I'd suggest you go see about finding a socket for that power source. Or we can return to Connor if you prefer. All the artifacts in the world won't mean a thing without the key.
And just to give the modern world a bit more flavour, there is a socket. You can see now that this side has lit up a wee bit. It's waiting for the power source that we just found. Here we have it.
In the beginning, when we thought we could be saved, we sought to face the sun's wrath and contain it. 4 towers would be built to pull her fury into this place and dispel it. But even with all we knew, with all we had, it would take too long. 1,000 years we could labor and still the work would not be done.
Ooh.
The first tower was never completed. The project abandoned. We moved on. But while we labored on other endeavors, a few returned. They thought to automate the process. Metal might finish what flesh could not.
So was that plan 1? And did plan 1 succeed? So free running through this world is a bit like looking for what looks like the logical path and following it, but sometimes it's not always obvious, as you saw earlier. Here she is again.
If we could not meet the sun's cruel embrace, perhaps we might rebuke it. Already we could generate fields to protect us in times of strife. But these were small and simple things. To replicate them on a scale the size of a world. We lack the energy to make it so. Half the world, they said then. It is better than none at all. We tried. Again, we failed. A quarter, they asked. Even this we could not do. A 6th, an 8th, a 10th, they cried. The answer was still the same. Perhaps in time a city might be spared. But it was time we did not have. So we moved on.
So while they possessed personal force fields, and that's going to feature in a lot of the armors that we find as legendary collectibles in later games in the series. Specifically, Edward's in Assassin's Creed 4 has a kind of energy field around it, and Cassandra's in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, one of the ultimate armor sets she can have has an energy field around it as well. So they had personal protection devices, but it was so many orders of magnitude higher to project that shield around larger and larger surface areas. And there wasn't the means to do it, even with their technology.
Wonder what's inside.
Only one way to find out.
Power source in. You can see it's opened a door over there. I think the way down is down there, is it? Yeah. There we go. So the door that opened is back here.
What is a fact? Is it fixed? Immutable? Certain in its existence and only awaiting discovery? Or might it be changed? Here we learned the answer, and thought that it might save us. They were used to command, to control, to own. But we soon discovered another use. When enough sat in thrall and were told to believe, their thoughts took on form. What was imagined became real. If 100 minds could wish away a wall or create a tree, what might 1,000 do? 10,000 more? Might we change the consensus and will the threat away? We resolved to send one into the sky where it might illuminate us all. Once placed, a sentence would be uttered. Make us safe. In this way, we would change the consensus. We would save the world. But it never came to be. We sent a dozen of them skyward, but there was no way to maintain control, to direct the beam, to enthrall the world, to speak the words. Though this was strange and dangerous, what we tried next was worse.
Wow. So the apples were designed to give them control of human minds. So the first civilization enthralled our ancestors, took control of them and made them slaves, essentially. But they found that if enough of them were held tethered to an apple by those energy beams, they could project their will and make it real.
Our first instinct was to travel back, to change the past. But we could not find a way. But forward, we could look forward And so here we sought to see beyond ourselves and know what was to come. First, we watched to learn if our work would succeed. But the answer was always the same. So we moved on to other things. But she remained. The one you call Minerva. In time, she too stopped looking, and instead began to speak. She called out across time, in the hopes that you might be saved. She hid messages where none might find them, save for you and those within this place.
Fascinating.
Tired of it. The cryptic warnings, the threats. Just tell us what you want!
But they are. We saw the Nephilim there. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. Imagine trying to explain all this to a 2-year-old, to a grasshopper. When they said the will of the gods was unknowable, they meant it. Literally.
I killed her, you know. I killed Lucy.
It was the apple, son. It was Juno.
I saw what she was. What would happen if I let her live? I could have stopped myself. I mean, there was a force there. But I didn't have to. I chose to.
Desmond.
Lucy was going to betray us and take the apple back to Abstergo. I saw the satellite launched. I saw them turn it on, and then it failed. Whatever's on the other side of that door, it benefits Juno. We need to be careful.
Oh, so we're missing a necessary item here, as you've probably guessed. There's Juno there. Don't know why it makes me go down here. Can't get through there. Whoops, didn't mean to run into that wall. I can get up here, but that's me back at the start again. Can I get out here? Yeah. And that's where I'm trying to get to, but I can't. I think there's yeah, she's there. I think I'm missing the key now. Yeah, I am. I'm missing the key that I need to get into here. So it's back we go for now, guys. There's no way into that space. Before you say you've missed the obvious run up the wall, you can't reach it. So yeah, Juno has to stay there unknown. And back we go for now. But that gives you... Whoops. I just died. Well, that sucks. Yeah, Juno... That gives you more of an idea of what happened to the first civilization. Obviously, everything they tried to contain the giant solar flare failed.
Good luck, Desmond.
And then we go back in just as my 5-minute warning comes up.
An easy alliance between the crown and its subjects phrase. And behind them both the Templars plot, pulling strings and moving pieces. History dictates they seek order through control. But how will they affect it here? Who supports them? And what conspiracies have they already spun? All these things I must determine. For only by knowing my enemy can I hope to stop them.
Connor! Spare a moment.
Of course.
Have a look.
What is it?
A Xingbao, or rope dart if you prefer. One of the many plans given to us by Xiao Yun to...
Sorry.
We'll have to work on this.
Ganondogo.
Yes, my friend.
What brings you here? Is the village all right?
For now.
What do you mean? What has happened?
Men came, claiming we had to leave. They said that the land was being sold, and that the Confederacy had consented. We sent an envoy, but they would not listen.
You must refuse!
We cannot oppose the Sachem, but you're right as well. We cannot give up our home.
Do you have a name? Do you know who is responsible?
He's called William Johnson.
Where is Johnson now?
In Boston, making preparations for the sale.
Sale? This is theft!
Connor, take care. These men are powerful.
What would you have me do? I made a promise to my people.
If you insist upon this course of action, seek out Sam Adams in Boston. He'll be able to help. What have you done?
When my people go to war, a hatchet is buried into a post to signify its start. When the threat is ended, the hatchet is removed.
You could have used a tree.
Right, we're going to have to end this episode there, guys, because I'm on 57 minutes and getting very, very near the end. So I hope you are enjoying the series so far. We're now about to get into the meat of it, and we will see a lot more action. And I'll talk more about Connor's weapon in the next episode. So take care, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. The sun is still shining here. It looks like it's going to be gorgeous for a while. This is obviously the 2 weeks of summer that Scotland's getting. Like I said at the beginning, though, if you could please subscribe to the channel, like the videos you watch, that would be massively appreciated. Stick around, you'll get more content pop up on the screen. You can filter through it. There will also be a button on the screen to subscribe to my channel. Feel free to click on that as well. And I will see you all for another episode in the Assassin's Creed series. Take care, and goodbye for now.